Why in the Hall of Fame who cheated?
He's been found guilty of at least one crime that could send him to jail instead of the Hall of Fame.
Is taking illegal performance-enhancing drugs that were not supplied by Balco.
The home run king to me is Hank Aaron, but statistically it's Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
You were to strip Barry Bonds of all of his stats from his 7 MVP seasons, he would still have 440 homers and 359 stolen bases, which no other player.
I talked to a lot of ball players and coaches while we were making our update of the series in 2010 called the 10th inning, in which we were dealing with steroids, and a lot of them thought that Barry Bonds was the greatest player ever.
This video looks at what players truly said when the cameras were not trying to create headlines. Their first reactions tell the real story.
I don't care if you throw 100 miles an hour. I don't care if you throw 120 miles an hour. There's a catcher behind home plate, and that catcher catches that ball every time with a glove. Only thing I did was change the object from glove to a bat. I don't like this. I don't like this. I like right here. And I practice that every time in the cage. And if those marks are anywhere here, my technique is off. This has to become extension to my arm.
What are your 3 keys of hitting?
Keeping your hands up, staying short and balanced.
The first reaction players gave when Barry Bonds' name came up was a kind of measured honesty. Pitchers who spent 20 years in the league suddenly chose their words like they were stepping on glass. Hitters who prided themselves on confidence admitted that facing him felt different. Barry Bonds did not just change outcomes, he changed the temperature of a conversation.
Barry Bonds is the best baseball player I've ever seen in my life. It's nothing that he couldn't do. And it's an atrocity what they're doing with him with the Hall of Fame. That's an atrocity that I don't understand that. But Barry Bonds, even before any steroid accusations, he had 3 MVPs at home on the shelf. He was undarn believable and dedicated to the game, loved the game, and outfield, stealing bases, hitting. He was the most feared player ever to me.
You still feel like you can hit a fastball today, 100 miles an hour?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you, no.
See, Barry said it's like riding a bike.
100? That's easy.
Right now, today.
I don't care how hard you throw a baseball.
They gone.
There ain't no way you can throw a baseball 66, so I can't just do like this.
Barry ain't gonna hit nothing. Barry's 60-something years old, he ain't gonna hit nothing. That's my dog.
Now, if you're asking me to do something spectacular, that would take time for my body to get used to it at 60.
But just going up there.
But to go up there and hit it,
like
I don't care how hard you throw it.
Yeah.
As long as I can see it, I hit it.
No, he ain't gonna hit nothing. Yeah.
Greg Maddux once summed it up in the simplest way possible. He said, "There was no safe pitch." That line circulated through clubhouses for years because everyone understood what it meant. Randy Johnson, a man who intimidated entire lineups, admitted that Bonds was the only hitter who forced him to rethink his entire plan before the first pitch was even thrown. Chipper Jones once said that trying to predict Bonds' swing decisions was a losing game from the start. Even Albert Pujols, who rarely praised opponents publicly, acknowledged that Bonds controlled at-bats in a way nobody else did.
This is why I think Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame, y'all. I want to say 1998 is when he came back swole. Barry Bonds was already a Hall of Famer. Let's say at the end of 1997, Barry Bonds had a career-ending injury. He already was a 3-time MVP, if not a 4-time MVP, already in the All-Star game every year. He never tested positive for any substance. He happened to be on a list with Balco. We already got guys in Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. Their name was on lists. They just didn't get caught.
Veterans who had seen everything felt the same tension. Some players talked about the sound of the contact, others remembered the walk totals that frustrated entire pitching staffs, but the message stayed consistent. Barry Bonds removed comfort from the field. The strike zone belonged to him. The pace belonged to him. And once he stepped in, nobody felt fully in control.
You got a chance to play 1 year with Barry.
Yes.
How was that?
Barry's the greatest player I ever seen. I saw Barry when he first came out with the Pirates. Never seen nobody like that. I was like, wow. Who's this guy, a little skinny kid they got Pittsburgh? He turns a 95 mile per hour fastball, Doc Gooden around, hit it out of the ballpark. I said, man, he's special. Then I saw him play. I was like, there's nobody like that. And I mean nobody. I don't care how many players have played this game. There's never been a player like Barry Bonds.
Like Barry Bonds.
Never. Boy could do everything good.
These early reactions show something important. Players respected talent, but with Bonds, that respect came with caution and a sense of realism. They remembered what he did to the league, and they remembered how powerless they felt stopping it.
If I was a pitcher, I want to face Barry Bonds.
Barry got 1 pitch a night, and he never missed.
That's what I'm saying. You're telling me I can't throw 1 pitch and it's automatic homer.
The fact that they walked him with the bases loaded is just like, it's fascinating to me. Like Stephen Vogt, so he's from like that area. Going to the game and watching Barry Bonds hit, he was like, it was a sight to see. He's like, so every 3 innings, the whole entire stadium would get up on their feet and watch him. He was like, it was unbelievable.
What separated Barry Bonds from every other hitter was not one single skill. It was the combination of traits that veterans said they had never seen packaged into one player. When former teammates and longtime opponents were asked to explain it, their answers lined up with almost perfect consistency.
Sometimes we'd ask a player in an interview, are you playing today or are you playing tomorrow? I don't know. How do you not know?
Because they don't tell you, because they're bad managers. I was with the Giants 2004, Barry Bonds, best hitter of all time, no one's even close, at me, I dare you. We'd have 2 lineups on a day game. One with Barry, one without Barry. On the board.
Every day.
Well, day games usually.
Day games.
Okay. I would be in the one where Barry wasn't playing. I'd be out of the one that Barry was playing. So I had to prepare like I was playing. Barry would show up for a 1 o'clock game sometimes at like noon and say, oh, I'm not playing, or I am playing. So then you go from 0 to 60, I'm playing, oh my gosh, Barry's not playing, so I'm in there, to
that seems a little late to show up to the ballpark.
But you could do it.
Jeff Kent, who shared the same clubhouse and often the same tension, once admitted that Bonds understood the strike zone better than most umpires. Kent said he knew what was a ball before it even left the pitcher's hand. Pitchers echoed that idea for years. They could not get him to chase. They could not get him to panic. They could not get him to swing at the pitch they wanted. Barry Bonds forced them into his game. Greg Maddux described him as the rare hitter who punished even the right decisions. Maddux said that he would hit the perfect pitch and act as if it were routine. Randy Johnson expressed something similar. He told reporters that Bonds had the fastest decision-making at the plate because he committed only when the ball entered the exact lane he wanted. Any deviation, and he let it go without hesitation.
Barry was surgical when it came to setting pitches up. Like one of the greatest to ever do it, Greg Maddux. He told that story about how Barry got me. He set me up.
Set him
and
up.
Barry was like, yeah, I set him up.
And we faced Maddux. You don't set him up. It's the other way around. He sets you up.
Albert Pujols, one of the greatest hitters of any era, highlighted another part of the story. He said that Bonds' bat speed stayed elite even when he was in his late 30s. Most hitters slow down, Pujols said. He didn't. That is what made him dangerous in every count. Chipper Jones added that Bonds controlled pitchers by refusing to let them hide weakness. If a pitcher missed 1 inch inside the zone, Bonds punished it. Opponents also talked about the pressure Bonds created before the pitch even started. Outfielders shifted deeper. Infielders braced for line drives. Managers walked him intentionally, even in the early innings. The game bent around him.
Decline in black players in baseball.
How many star blacks in baseball? You got star Latinos, you got star whites. When I played baseball, you had me, Ken Griffey Jr., Eric Davis, Ozzie Smith, ton of inspiring black athletes on the field to inspire other black kids to want to play. NBA's balance. Baseball, I can name Mookie Betts. I can name a few, but I can't name enough.
Some players liked him, some did not. But when they described his abilities, the tone never changed. They spoke about precision, they spoke about discipline, they spoke about fear disguised as respect. This is the part of Bonds' legacy that players always admit publicly or privately. His control of the strike zone, his bat speed, and his refusal to give pitchers anything easy made him the most studied hitter of his generation.
Tell me right now, on the spot, what would you do against Satchel Paige?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Gone. You lost your mind, Jeter. Read about it on ESPN, Fox, News, whatever else you want to talk about. You got to believe in yourself. If I don't believe in me, who gonna believe in me?
That's right.
I'm a drag button. Derek, you said I'm drag button.
Players could debate Barry Bonds' personality. They could debate his impact on the clubhouse, but they never debated the numbers. The performance alone forced a level of respect that no interview could soften. When players were asked about him, many returned to the same idea. You could not ignore what he did to the sport.
Ted Turner said we had one big bullet to shoot, and it was either Bonds or Maddux. And so they're going around the table, and everything. And of course, they said, "What do you think, Leo?" I said, "Well, what do you think I think? I'm a pitching coach. Who you think I'm going to pick?" And so it was split down the middle 50-50, but Bobby Cox said he was the last one. He says, he said, with the great rotation that we already have, He said if we add Greg Maddux into that rotation, he says, we'll never have a losing streak.
Bonds won 7 MVP awards, a total that no player has come close to matching. Pitchers from the 1980s to the 2000s said that every season with Bonds felt like a new challenge. The year that defined everything was 2001. 73 home runs, a season that looked impossible even in video games. Many pitchers admitted that they stopped trying to compare it to anything they had seen before. Then there were the walks. 468 intentional walks in a career. Some teams built entire series plans around never letting him swing. One veteran pitcher said, "We were willing to give him first base because the alternative was watching the ball leave the park." Another player described it more simply, "If you missed by 1 inch, it was gone."
Is David Ortiz the greatest hitter of all time?
To me, Barry Bonds, I don't think nobody ever gonna match that. I remember one time I was playing first base. We had the left-hander, Alan Embry. They brought him in to face Barry. Barry hits a massive fly ball to me. And I asked him, "Dang, you missed that pitch, right?" He told me, "No, I didn't miss it. I just wasn't ready for it, but I'm gonna face it again." I think it was the very next day. Same situation, they brought on Embry in. He hit that ball so far in the water. And when he went around me, he told me, "I told you." That's it. No way. He became to be my hero since that point on.
The contact quality was another story players remembered. Outfielders talked about balls that never climbed. They stayed in a straight, violent line, and by the time anyone reacted, the ball was in the seats. Catchers remembered the sound of his swing, the way it stood out from everyone else on the field. Hitters said that Bonds' ability to stay calm in full counts made them rethink their own approach to the plate. Even pitchers who rarely praised opponents admitted the same truth. Barry Bonds eliminated mistakes. He removed doubt. He punished hesitation. One veteran summed it up in a way that players still repeat today. You could not pitch around him. You only hoped he missed.
Barry Bonds is a huge part of the Giants and whatnot, and I'm assuming you guys have a relationship.
Yeah. So Barry's in our clubhouse pretty much every day. I get along with Barry really well. Every single time, the first thing he says is, "Man, I just want to see you one time. And I'm like, "Man, Barry, you take me deep. I get it. But Barry truly does not like pitchers. I could ask Barry a question about like hitting, and he's like, "I'm not going to give you any secrets." I'm like, "Barry, I'm on the Giants. Come on, help me." Yeah. I don't want to face him. I do want to face him, right? Like, you always want to face the best, but I don't really want to see a ball going in the water. You know what's crazy with him is he'll get in the cage, and he could probably hit 300 right now. He could probably hit it right now.
You had 5 pitches. What would be your sequence with Barry for a punch out?
He's one of those guys where I think the first time I face him, I probably wouldn't throw him a fastball. Probably going backdoor slider, strike one, and I'll probably just keep throwing him changeup until he swings. And then maybe, just maybe, I'll try to surprise him with a force.
The numbers did not just earn respect, they demanded it. Players could disagree on many things, but they all understood that once Bonds stepped into the batter's box, the game belonged to him.
Tell me right now, on the spot, what would you do against Satchel Paige?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Gone. Lost your mind, Jeter. Read about it on ESPN, Fox News, whatever else you want to talk about. You got to believe in yourself. If I don't believe in me, who gonna believe in me?
That's right.
I'm a drag button.
Derek, you said
I'm drag button.
When the conversation shifted from Barry Bonds' talent to Barry Bonds' presence, players split into clear groups. Some respected everything he brought to the field, others respected only the results. A few avoided the topic entirely. That divide shaped nearly every interview from his era. Curt Schilling was one of the first pitchers to admit the contradiction. He said he admired Bonds' discipline at the plate, but never connected with him off the field. Schilling described Bonds as a player who demanded excellence and expected everyone else to rise to his level, which did not always sit well with teammates or opponents. Roy Halladay once spoke about Bonds from a distance, saying that facing him required a different level of mental preparation. He respected the hitter, but preferred not to discuss the man.
Remember in the height of the steroids when Barry Bonds was wearing the pads, kind of almost looked like a hockey player at the plate. And I remember talking to baseball people who scout and like front office people. And they said every batter has a weak spot. Every batter has a portion of the plate, pitch guys away. And they said that Barry Bonds, the only place they felt in the middle of that cattle steroids era, and everybody was using and allegations everywhere, that he felt that Barry had the smallest weak spot in baseball. It was a size of about half the baseball, right under his elbow when he was batting.
Gary Sheffield, who knew Bonds personally and professionally, added another layer. Sheffield said that players struggled with Bonds because he did not care about social comfort, he cared about results. Sheffield pointed out that some players interpreted that as arrogance, while others saw it as focus. His perspective explained why Bonds inspired loyalty in a few and frustration in many. Younger players from the 2000s expressed something else. They grew up watching Bonds dominate and entered the league knowing he controlled every at-bat. For them, the personality debate was secondary. They cared more about the competitive weight he brought into every ballpark. Veterans, however, remembered the full picture, the media attention, the distance he kept, the way his presence changed the rhythm of a clubhouse.
Barry Bonds' career ended pretty unceremoniously during the offseason of 2007. After steroid allegations and rumors he was a poor teammate persisted, it became clear no one was going to come calling. However, all that aside, his outstanding talent was never in question, and he reaffirmed this almost a decade later on the backlots of a Miami Marlins home run derby. According to Marlins contributor Craig Mish, Barry suited up for an impromptu hitting competition after one of the three-man teams in this random drill was down a player.
This divide was not about liking or disliking Barry Bonds. It was about how players process someone who changed the scale of greatness. Some admired the standard he set, some felt the shadow he cast over an entire era, and some simply refused to comment knowing that anything they said would follow them for years. What remains consistent across generations is the impact. Whether they were cautious, respectful, irritated, or impressed, players always recognized that Bonds was different. The reactions say as much about them as they do about him.
And my dad always told me that if a guy throws that hard, send him a message and pull it very, very far foul, and I guarantee you the next pitch is away. And that's what played in my head at that moment, and Gagne threw the next ball away and I put it in center field.
When MLB players were asked about Barry Bonds, their answers revealed something deeper than opinion. They showed how one player could alter the shape of an entire era. Some respected him without hesitation. Others kept their distance. But every voice carried the same recognition. Barry Bonds changed how pitchers prepared, how hitters measured themselves, and how teams built plans around a single at-bat. Players did not have to like him. They did not have to agree with him. What they could not do was deny the impact. Bonds forced the game to adjust. He forced greatness into every conversation about the modern era. As time moves on, the debates continue. The reactions remain honest, and the respect, even when complicated, never fades.